In the quaint town of Willow Creek, nestled amidst the lush forests and rolling hills, the Whitaker family resided in their cozy farmhouse. Robert Whitaker, a sturdy man with a heart of gold, lived there with his wife, Emily, their teenage daughter, Lily, and their youngest son, Jacob. Their farmhouse, with its weathered wooden walls and creaky floorboards, had stood for generations, a testament to the resilience of those who called it home. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and ominous clouds gathered in the sky, the Whitakers gathered in their living room, seeking refuge from the approaching storm. The air was thick with anticipation, the distant rumble of thunder serving as a harbinger of the tempest to come. Robert stoked the fire in the hearth, casting flickering shadows across the room as Emily busied herself with preparing a hearty meal for their family. Lily sat curled up on the worn sofa, her nose buried in a book, while Jacob played with his toy soldiers on the threadbare rug. As darkness fell and the first drops of rain splattered against the window panes, Robert glanced outside, his brow furrowed with concern. The wind had picked up, its mournful wail echoing through the trees, and lightning danced across the sky in jagged arcs of white-hot fury. "Looks like we're in for quite a storm," Robert remarked, his voice barely audible above the howling wind. Emily nodded in agreement, her hands trembling ever so slightly as she set the table for dinner. "Let's hope it passes quickly," she replied, though her eyes betrayed a hint of anxiety. With a clap of thunder that shook the very foundations of the farmhouse, the storm descended upon Willow Creek with all its might. Rain lashed against the windows, driven by gale-force winds that threatened to tear the roof from its moorings. The air crackled with electricity, and the darkness outside seemed to swallow the world whole. Inside the farmhouse, the Whitakers huddled together, their fear tempered by the warmth of their love and the strength of their bond. They shared stories and laughter, their voices rising above the din of the storm as they sought solace in each other's company. But as the night wore on and the storm showed no signs of abating, their mirth gave way to unease. The power flickered, then failed altogether, plunging the farmhouse into darkness. Lily gasped in surprise, her book slipping from her grasp as she reached out for her mother's hand. "It's okay, darling," Emily said, her voice steady despite the fear that gnawed at her heart. "We'll just have to make do until the power comes back on." Robert nodded in agreement, though his thoughts were elsewhere. He knew all too well the dangers that lurked outside in the darkness, and he would do whatever it took to keep his family safe. With flashlights in hand, the Whitakers ventured into the kitchen, where they dined by the soft glow of candlelight. The food was simple but satisfying, a testament to Emily's skill as a cook and her unwavering dedication to her family. But even as they ate, a sense of foreboding hung in the air, like a shadow creeping across their hearts. The storm outside raged on, its fury unabated by the passage of time, and the Whitakers knew that they were in for a long and harrowing night. As they cleared the table and retired to their respective rooms, each member of the family felt the weight of the storm pressing down upon them, its presence a constant reminder of their vulnerability in the face of nature's wrath. Lily lay awake in bed, her thoughts racing as lightning illuminated her room in brief, blinding flashes. She clutched her blanket tightly, her heart pounding in her chest as she listened to the relentless drumming of rain against the roof. Down the hall, Jacob tossed and turned in his bed, his dreams haunted by visions of monsters lurking in the shadows. He whimpered softly in his sleep, his small form curled up against the darkness that threatened to consume him. And in their own room, Robert and Emily lay side by side, their hands clasped in silent solidarity as they stared up at the ceiling. They had weathered many storms together in their years as husband and wife, but none had been as fierce or as unforgiving as this. Outside, the storm raged on, its fury undiminished by the passage of time. Lightning danced across the sky in jagged arcs of white-hot fury, illuminating the world in brief, blinding flashes. Thunder crashed like a mighty hammer, shaking the very foundations of the farmhouse, as if to remind its inhabitants of their own mortality. But within the walls of their home, the Whitakers stood strong, their love and courage serving as a beacon of hope in the darkness. For as long as they had each other, they knew that they could weather any storm that came their way, no matter how fierce or how unforgiving. And so, as the night wore on and the storm raged outside, they clung to each other with all the strength they possessed, their hearts filled with the knowledge that together they could overcome anything. For in the end, it was not the fury of the storm that defined them, but the love that bound them together, unbreakable and unyielding in the face of adversity. If you're finding value in this video so far, do me a quick favor and hit that like button below. Enjoy. In the outskirts of Willow Creek, nestled deep within the dense forest, a group of friends embarked on a camping trip, seeking adventure amidst the beauty of nature. Among them were Alex, a seasoned outdoorsman with a passion for exploration, Sarah, his adventurous girlfriend with an insatiable thirst for excitement, and Tom and Rachel, a young couple eager to escape the confines of city life. As they set up camp beneath the towering trees, the air was alive with excitement, the crackling of the campfire mingling with the laughter of friends. The sky above was clear and starlit, a vast expanse of darkness punctuated by the shimmering glow of distant galaxies. But as the night wore on, and the first whispers of a storm began to stir in the air, the mood shifted, and a sense of unease settled over the campsite like a heavy blanket. Alex glanced up at the darkening sky, his brow furrowed with concern. "We might want to consider packing up and heading back," he suggested, his voice tinged with apprehension. "Looks like we're in for a rough night." Sarah shook her head, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Nonsense," she replied, her voice filled with determination. "We came here to experience the wild, and that's exactly what we're going to do." With a shrug and a reluctant nod, Alex relented, knowing that Sarah's adventurous spirit brooked no argument. Together they stoked the fire and settled in for the night, their tents pitched beneath the sheltering boughs of the ancient trees. But as the first drops of rain began to fall and the wind picked up, their idyllic evening took a turn for the worse. The storm descended upon them with all its fury, lightning flashing and thunder rumbling in the distance. As the rain poured down in torrents and the wind howled through the trees, the friends huddled together in their tents, seeking refuge from the tempest that raged outside. But even amidst the chaos, their spirits remained unbroken, their laughter and camaraderie serving as a beacon of hope in the darkness. But as the night wore on and the storm showed no signs of abating, their resolve began to waver. The wind grew fiercer, tearing at the fabric of their tents with savage fury, and the rain pounded against the ground with relentless force. Sarah shivered beneath her sleeping bag, her teeth chattering with cold as she huddled close to Alex for warmth. "I think we might be in over our heads," she admitted, her voice barely audible above the roar of the storm. Alex nodded in agreement, his expression grim. "We need to find shelter," he replied, his voice steady despite the fear that gnawed at his heart. "This storm isn't going to let up anytime soon, and we're not equipped to handle it out here." With a nod of understanding, the friends gathered their belongings and set out into the darkness, their flashlights cutting through the swirling mist like beacons in the night. They stumbled and slipped along the muddy trail, their hearts pounding in their chests as they sought refuge from the storm. And then, just when it seemed as though all hope was lost, they stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin hidden amidst the trees, its windows dark and its door hanging askew on its hinges. With a sense of relief, they hurried inside, seeking shelter from the storm that raged outside. But as they huddled together in the darkness of the cabin, their relief turned to fear as they realized that they were not alone. Strange noises echoed through the empty rooms, and shadows danced along the walls like specters in the night. Terrified, they huddled together in the flickering light of their flashlights, their hearts pounding in their chests as they listened to the sounds of something moving in the darkness. And as the storm raged on outside, they knew that they were facing something far more sinister than mere thunder and lightning. For in the heart of the storm, amidst the darkness and the chaos, something malevolent lurked, waiting to strike. In the rural outskirts neighboring Willow Creek, on the edge of the sprawling farmland that surrounded the town, stood an old farmhouse, weathered by time and the elements. It was here that Samuel Baxter, a solitary farmer, made his home, tending to his crops and livestock with unwavering dedication. On a stormy night, much like any other, Samuel found himself alone in his farmhouse, the rain lashing against the windows and the wind howling through the fields. He sat by the hearth, nursing a cup of hot tea, the only source of warmth in the chilly farmhouse. As the storm raged on outside, Samuel's thoughts turned to his late wife, Martha, who had passed away many years ago. He missed her dearly, her laughter and her warmth a distant memory in the face of the relentless storm that raged outside. With a heavy heart, Samuel rose from his chair and made his way to the window, peering out into the darkness. The rain fell in sheets, obscuring his view of the fields beyond, and the lightning illuminated the sky in brief, blinding flashes. Suddenly, a faint sound caught Samuel's attention, a soft whisper carried on the wind. He frowned, straining to make out the words, but they were lost amidst the howling of the storm. Shaking his head, Samuel turned away from the window and made his way back to his chair, dismissing the sound as nothing more than a trick of the wind. But as the night wore on and the storm intensified, the whispers grew louder, their words unintelligible yet filled with a sense of urgency. With a growing sense of unease, Samuel rose from his chair and ventured outside, his flashlight cutting through the darkness like a beacon in the night. He searched the fields and the surrounding woods, but found nothing save for the relentless rain and the howling wind. Returning to the farmhouse, Samuel locked the door behind him and settled back into his chair, his thoughts consumed by the mysterious whispers that echoed in the night. And as the storm raged on outside, he realized with a start that the whispers were coming from within the walls of his own home. Terrified, Samuel searched the farmhouse from top to bottom, his heart pounding in his chest as he listened to the sounds of something moving in the darkness. But try as he might, he found no trace of the source of the whispers, no sign of the malevolent presence that lurked within the shadows. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, the storm began to recede, its fury spent against the unwavering perseverance of the solitary farmer. Samuel emerged from his ordeal shaken but alive, his farmhouse battered but still standing against the relentless onslaught of the storm. But though the whispers had faded with the passing of the storm, Samuel knew that they would haunt him for the rest of his days, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edges of his reality. For in the heart of the storm, amidst the darkness and the chaos, Something malevolent had whispered its secrets to him, and Samuel knew that he would never be the same again. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this. Your support helps us keep creating awesome content for you.